Welcome, I'm the Factual Gamer, and these are this week's gaming news. Last Friday, May 22nd, the complaints of indie developers about delayed payments on Desura, the digital distribution platform, came to light when several posts were made on Reddit about this issue. According to the developers of the game Battlefleet 2, they had not received any payment since the launch of the game on the platform in the summer of 2014, and communicating with the company also seems to have been very difficult during this period, with sent emails not receiving any response. Also, Mike Malbeck, one of the developers of Paranautical Activity, who became infamously known back in October of 2014 when he threatened to kill Gabe Newell on Twitter after his game was incorrectly categorized when it launched on Steam, had also joined in on the protest against Desura over missing payments, posting on Reddit and tweeting about it. After all the complaints started receiving some public and media attention, it seems Desura finally started processing the payments. The company also posted an official statement concerning this issue on its blog. The reasons given for this delay were the company's acquisition last year, which was sold to Bad Juju Games by the previous owner Linden Labs, also the office relocation, and the apparent hospitalization of the company's CEO. On Monday, May 25th, a community manager for Cloud Imperium Games, the studio developing the very successfully kickstarted game Star Citizen, posted a screenshot that included a partial URL. Someone successfully guessed the rest of the URL and managed to download 40 gigabytes of unfinished assets of the game. The game is being developed using the CryEngine, and people managed to import some of the assets into the consumer version of the engine to check out what they contained. Even though the CryEngine version that the developers are using has been heavily modified, someone managed to load the Bengal Carrier, a gigantic ship that will require several people to control and maintain, let alone the other smaller ships it can carry. The footage of the carrier that I'm showing here was created by Pariahs Denton, who was kind enough to allow me to use it. The following day, May 26th, Tuesday, Good Old Games, the digital distribution platform, refused to sell the game Hatred, according to its developers Destructive Creations. Hatred is an isometric action game in which a hate-filled character goes on a mass-murdering rampage similar to the original Postal game. The game gained a lot of notoriety when it released its first trailer, and also a lot of infamy, with some people denouncing it for the violence and virtual murdering of civilians. The game even got removed from Steam's Greenlight in December, but was reinstated the following day by Gabe Newell himself, who did not agree with the removal decision. According to Destructive Creations, Good Old Games had evaluated the game and then simply rejected it for reasons beyond their control, without specifying what those reasons were. The game has been given an AO or Adults Only rating, the highest and most restrictive age rating a video game can receive, and yesterday gaming streaming service Twitch changed its rules of conduct, which now prevents adults-only rated games to be broadcast. It is not known if this change was made to specifically prevent Hatred from being streamed on Twitch. On the same day, Deep End Games, a studio created by former Irrational Games developers, launched a Kickstarter campaign for their first game, Perception. Perception is described as being a first-person narrative-driven horror adventure that tells the story of Cassie, a blind woman who uses her extraordinary hearing to uncover the mysteries of an abandoned mansion. Judging from the gameplay shown in the trailer, Cassie's hearing is very similar to what is usually depicted as the comic book hero Daredevil's hearing, who is also blind, using echolocation as the main form of detecting and analyzing the environment. The campaign is asking for $150,000, and with 27 days to go, it's up to $58,000. The game doesn't currently have a release date. Still on Tuesday, May 26th, game development studio Double Fine Productions announced that it had regained the rights to the game Iron Brigade on the PC. The game, which mixes tower defense and mech shooter gameplay mechanics, was first released in 2011, and although developed by Double Fine, was published by Microsoft Studios. Now, the game has been updated to remove its original matchmaking system and replace it with Steam, platform on which it is now available. The game was originally named Trenched, but because of a trademark owned by a Portuguese board game company for a board and computer game with a similar title, it had to be changed to Iron Brigade. Double Fine also announced it has no intentions to revert the game to its original title. On Wednesday, May 27th, fans of the PlayStation Vita got a bit of bad news about the future of Sony's portable console. Andrew House, Sony Computer Entertainment's president and CEO, mentioned the Vita during Sony's 2015 Investor Relations Day and called both the portable console and PlayStation TV legacy platforms. The term is usually attributed to products that companies are no longer focusing on, as it happened to the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, for example. This means the overall lack of releases for the Vita will certainly not improve. Although the Vita seems to be doing well in the Asian and Japanese market overall, it's in serious decline in the American and European markets. And finally, yesterday, May 28th, Thursday, Microsoft quietly mentioned that the Xbox One controller will be receiving an update, to be revealed at this month's E3. It isn't known if there will be any further changes, but for now the controller will include a 3.5mm headphone port at the base for controllers released after June of this year. The current model of the Xbox One controller requires an adapter which costs around $25 to be able to use it with regular headphones. And those were this week's news. Next up, the releases. Today, the games being released are Horizon Shift, Pillar, Alter World, Next Monday, June 1st, the releases are This Starry Midnight Remake, Hatred, Dungeon Crawlers HD, Massive Chalice, The following day, Tuesday, the games being released are Heroes of the Storm, Riddled Corpses, On June 3rd, Wednesday, the releases are Rescue 2 Everyday Heroes, Color Assembler, and finally, on June 4th, next Thursday, the games are Vektor Wars, Starhammer, The Vanguard Prophecy, and that's all. We have now passed the 600 subscribers mark. You are all awesome. Please keep them coming. Let's see if we can reach 1000 in June. I honestly doubt it, but it would be amazing. As always, thank you for watching. I'll be back next Friday, and that's a fact.